Howdy, Tiborosaurus Rex here. We're doing a quick review on the AMT 45 backup pistol, it's called. It's a single stack, double action only, 45 ACP. Uses a shortened 1911 type magazine. As you can see, the comparison between standard 1911 here on the left, the AMT Backup here on the right. Backup is pretty handy. It's real thin. It doesn't have any sights on top, so it's kind of designed for carry. Backup, obviously, right? So you don't want that front sight and the rear sight hanging you up. So that's the idea behind that. It's got a real stout trigger pull, about 12 to 13 pounds. Not a target shooting gun by any means, but it does fine. And you'll see that when I show the clips of this thing hammering away. We got a lot of footage of it in action. I don't want to spoil it, so I'll just let you see how it's shot, and then we'll discuss it after you get a chance to see that.
Whoa. Dang it. It's hard to control.
Yep.
Got kind of close. A little tricky at first.
Yep.
Straight in front of you. It's kind of... I tried to aim a little lower, and then it seemed like maybe I pulled the trigger and I went way low and it shot like 3 feet low.
This one still has some powder left in it.
Are you nervous?
A little bit. But,
yeah.
okay.
Kind of line up that groove, sort of.
Yep. I forgot the hard trigger.
Yeah. Pretty close, man. Not bad. Oh, slammer forward. It's not the most pleasant.
No.
Oh, you don't like it? Yeah, it's more than the little 22, that's for sure.
Tough.
I think you only have maybe 1 or 2 left, huh?
Pissed.
Yep. Pissed.
Fast. It's hard to pull that trigger back.
I still one in there, man.
You good? Oh, you gonna do another one? Hey, you didn't flinch. Alright, we just put a Wolf extra power recoil spring in this AMT Backup 45. We're going to see if that improves reliability at all. We'll go take it out and try it out. now that you've had a chance to see the AMT 45 backup in action, I'm sure you've noticed that it likes to jam a lot, particularly when you're charging the first round. The slide would kind of stick backwards there. It was having a problem feeding that first round. Even sometimes when you're in the middle of shooting, you'd have a failure to feed in there. Probably 25% of the time overall throughout all the shooting we've done. Huge difference in reliability the way you hold the weapon. When you're holding it real tight, it seems to hang up a lot more. If you got a real loose grip on it, it seemed to work a lot better. You probably noticed on some of the filming there's kind of a delay in the feeding. The slide would kind of hang back and it was thinking about jamming. That's what was going on there. It was kind of inching its way forward. Another thing I noticed with this thing is a lot of people complained on some of the reviews I've read on these that the accuracy is absolutely terrible. That's not really the case. Now, if you're not really used to point shooting with a handgun, it would be difficult to learn how to shoot one of these things. It doesn't really have sights. It has the groove on top there, as we looked at before. So it's not like a target shooting pistol. But for self-defense purposes, you're going to be point shooting. You're not going to be using sight picture and all that at point blank range in a self-defense type situation. So I would recommend practicing point shooting if you were to get a weapon like this. And as you can see on the video, we weren't having a problem knocking a can all over the place with no sights, just from point shooting. So that's something to keep in mind. There's a lot of times even a small little backup gun like this with no sights is going to be more accurate mechanically than anyone can hold the gun. So if it's an accuracy issue, it's usually just need more practice. One thing that a lot of people mention that I've read about is the trigger pull on this. It's the double action only trigger pull. It's extremely heavy pull. It's probably, think about 12, 13, 14 pounds of a trigger pull. Real heavy. Again, in a self-defense type scenario, you're not even going to notice the trigger pull. In fact, after I put my first magazine through it, I didn't even notice the trigger pull. It became muscle memory real fast. So it's not something that's going to get in the way. There's no safety switches or anything on the gun, so that heavy trigger pull is going to be your friend. You don't want this thing going off in your pants. That would be bad news. So accuracy was fine. Trigger pull is fine for its design purpose. Its size is real nice. Here's a Smith & Wesson Airweight 38 Special. As you can see, the size is real similar between these two weapons. The Airweight's a little bit thicker where you got the cylinder, obviously, but real comparable. The Airweight's a little bit lighter. But as far as a carry weapon would go, after thoroughly testing this thing out, we put a couple hundred rounds through it, I would go with the revolver, guaranteed. You want 100% reliability. I mean, I'm pretty fussy with my handguns. If I even get one jam in 1,000, I'm starting to worry. You want to be able to sit down with cases and cases of shells and go through all kinds of ammo without having any kind of hang-ups. That's the ideal weapon to carry there. 1 in 100 is pretty awful. One out of 100 being a malfunction. That's something that I would not be comfortable to carry around. So this thing malfunctioning 25% of the time, not something I would want to carry.